Good morning. It is Tuesday. I have to think about the date for a second. August 5th. And it's time for Q&A. And I'm mixing things up a little bit. I'm going to answer five of my most frequently asked questions. So starting with, have I had kids? What do I eat? Or what do I eat in a day? Or tell me more about the way you eat. What is my abs workout? Was I ever overweight? And how can I say no filters when I've had since I've had breast implants? Okay, they're two different things. Anyway, I'm going to dive into all of these because, again, if I'm getting the same questions over and over, it's because these are the things people want to know kind of the most. Or so I want to dive into these. Reminder that if you are following me for the health and weight loss information, if you've been watching these videos, if you're finding this information helpful, I really pull it all together for you in my latest book, Happier, Healthier, and Hotter, High Protein, Low Calorie, Bikini Friendly Recipes. I call it a cookbook, but it is so much more than a cookbook. It is a real life guide to losing weight at any age, but it's where I share the strategies that have helped my clients lose 10 to 35 pounds and keep it off eating real food. And the strategies help me stay lean even now at almost 59, 5 years post-menopause. So I'm going to drop a link to that book in the caption if you want to check it out. It is $21, immediate digital download, 50 high protein, low calorie recipes with beautiful real food ingredients. And then so much information about figuring out a good protein goal, a good calorie goal, just how to do this when you can't get in the kitchen, when you can't cook, when you're traveling, when you're too busy, all of the things, because this is not about a like 6 week bikini body program or anything about like that. This is a lifestyle. This isn't something that you go on or off. It's just how you live your life and it works. I'm living proof and so are my beautiful clients. So let's dive into the first question. Have I had kids? Yes. I have two beautiful, I was pregnant twice, two beautiful adult children. They were both born via C-section. I gained 53 pounds during my first pregnancy and very close to that with my second. The first one was over the summer. I think I was probably a little more water retention. At least it was like, the height of my pregnancy was over the summer. But so I gained a lot of weight for a girl who is 5'1", two C-sections. Later on, even developed a diastasis recti. It was probably developed, but I wasn't aware of it until much later. So I've had all the things, all of the belly issues, and these are my almost 59-year-old post-breakfast abs on a Tuesday morning. So I've had people, and no, I haven't had a tummy tuck or liposuction. That's actually another question I get a lot. Not that there's anything wrong with those procedures, but when I'm saying, but it would be wrong if I were saying my abs, the result of like Planck's protein and positivity, and I actually had cosmetic surgery done. So, yes, you can have kids and bounce back. You absolutely, I don't want to see you get your, like, I didn't get my body back exactly. I think I got it back better. So, and maybe because I was, had the inspiration to work a little more and get things back, but it wasn't hard, but it does take consistency. And we'll get to my abs workout. But yes, I have indeed had kids. And what do I eat? What do I eat in a day? So every day is different. And I used to, although I do eat it, I will eat foods on repeat when I love them and they're clearly, doing me some good. But what I eat, the way I eat, what is my diet? I don't really like the word diet because people think of something that you're on or off. I prioritize protein and produce. I've been saying that for years, and that's exactly how I eat. I'll give you some specific examples. But just because it's like what I eat in a day doesn't mean you need to eat the exact same things, but it's just to give you this gives you this beautiful template. Prioritize protein and produce. I build my meals around high quality protein dense foods. We are talking beef, fish, poultry, like chicken and turkey. I don't like them as much as I like beef, fish, and eggs. Sometimes some low fat dairy like cottage cheese or Greek yogurt. And I fill in with colorful fruits and veggies. I was vegetarian, sometimes vegan for over 30 years. I respect everybody's dietary choices, but I will be shout from the rooftops that it's been now over 15 years that I added meat back into my diet and just increased my animal protein. And my brain, my body, and my booty have never been better. Yes, I have indeed built a better booty, and I know it wouldn't look as good as it looks if I wasn't getting all this high quality protein. I believe, and when I say prioritize protein products, that doesn't mean those are the only things you ever eat. I have chocolate. Um, not as much lately because I mean I really don't get the cravings, but I do enjoy chocolate. I have coffee in the morning. I guess that's produce, it comes from a bean. I do have cocktails. I just got back from a week in Cape May, New Jersey. I had cocktails every night. Although just like vodka soda or tequila soda, because I just that keeps things super clean. But so it's not that those are the only things I eat, but that is absolutely what I prioritize. That is the mainstay of my diet. Along with that, I don't eat crappy processed carbs. But I'm not saying don't have carbs, but get your carbs from like sweet potatoes, bananas, fruits. All fruits and veggies are carbs. Some are carbier than others. But so that's how I eat. And so, for example, just to give you some examples, and eat, why do I eat this way? Because it makes it easier to stay lean and build muscle. And if you're looking, I'm not looking to lose weight. I feel like I'm at a great weight, but if you're looking to lose weight, this is absolutely going to help you because you're going to get your protein up, which you need to maintain that lean body mass, get rid of cravings, all of those things. And it's easier to get into a calorie deficit, which is ultimately you need to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight, in order to burn fat. So, some examples. I love eggs. I know some people don't, or some people are allergic. That's okay. You can still do this. I love eggs. So my breakfasts usually involve eggs. 2 eggs is only 12 grams of protein. I'm aiming for at least 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight over the course of a day. So instead of like 2 eggs and a bunch of other stuff, I might have 2 eggs scrambled with 1 cup of 2% cottage cheese and my daily raw carrot. I eat a carrot pretty much every day. There's a specific fiber underneath the skin of carrots that helps to balance hormones in both men and women. The carotenes are amazing for your skin. And I believe in chewing your food. We are not meant to suck down shakes and smoothies all day. So I really believe that daily raw carrot also helps to snatch my jawline, although there's some other stuff I do for that also. Um, so typical breakfast for me would be 2 eggs, 1 cup of cottage cheese, my daily raw carrot, maybe some blueberries, maybe not. But those eggs and cottage cheese, that's 40 grams of protein, only 300 calories. Or I might use my the turkey breakfast sausage recipe that's in my cookbook, along with my eggs. I might have just meat from the night before. I will absolutely eat a leftover burger for breakfast, ground beef, whatever. If you're like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. I do in my cookbook have some like shakes that don't use protein powder. And it's not that I'm against protein powder. I'm against crappy protein powder. And there's a lot of them out there. I do know some good ones. But also I believe when we eat real food and we're chewing our food, we learn satisfaction. We learn real hunger cues. We learn what food tastes like. Some of these protein, if you're using protein shakes every day that taste like strawberry shortcake and s'mores and all that stuff, they're like hyper palatable. And I've always found when I've had something that or some of the protein bars, I don't do bars at all really anymore. Um, it's like, okay, yeah, you got this many grams of protein, but you feel like you could eat 10 more of them because it was like a candy bar and you don't get that satisfaction. So anyway, for breakfast, high protein, at least 30 grams of protein. And then my lunches and dinners, and I do typically eat 3 meals a day. Um, it's going to be again more protein, a big juicy burger, no bun, a big piece of fish, um, fish, chicken. I love fish, shrimp, but a steak, a fillet. But basically, instead of like you see people talking about their big ass salads, and a lot of women especially are conditioned to have a giant salad, all this lettuce, and like teensy weensy chicken sprinkled on top, or chickpeas or something, getting the protein from chickpeas. And it's like, I do the opposite now. That was me. and I was bloated. I'd have a distended belly and skinny arms and lots of gas. Um, from all the things that I was combining, all the plants I was combining to try to get protein, where now I love a good salad, but give me a small, well-crafted salad, um, topped with double protein, and I'm going to be way more satisfied and way less bloated. Um, so that's what I eat. I prioritize protein and produce, and I pull it all together. I explain what I eat in my cookbook, but this can look different, which I'm linking in the caption, but this can look different for different people. So, depending on your food preferences, your lifestyle, your schedule. So it's not like you need to eat exactly what I'm eating, but these are ideas. In my cookbook, another thing, a lot of people are like, I don't have time to cook breakfast, but I want that hearty, satiating breakfast. I have so many recipes for egg bakes where the I combine eggs and cottage cheese, but they're blended in the blender and then baked like a quiche. So you don't know the cottage cheese is in there, but you're getting a huge protein boost. Then you mix in other things like spinach and artichokes. Or I have a cheeseburger egg bake. Oh my gosh, so good. Spinach and feta, turkey sausage egg bake. That one is amazing. So there's so many good options out there for things that you can make ahead. Um, what is my abs workout? Probably way less than you think. I do planks every day. Every day I hold a plank. I walk a lot. Sometimes I do crunches and a balance trainer. That's my abs workout. The reason my abs look like this is because of the way I eat. So, of course, I'm doing things to build muscle, but I wouldn't get those results if it weren't for the high quality protein that I'm consuming. And then again, you wouldn't be, sometimes people have the muscle built, but you don't see it because it's hidden by a layer of fat. So, because the way I eat, my body is lean. I'm not carrying a lot of excess fat. So, again, that the abs workout is super simple. There have been times where I've put more time into my abs. But right now, I spend less than 5 minutes a day on my abs. So, I do at least one. I hold a plank every day. I haven't been doing my crunches lately or any of that stuff. A balance trainer, also, even just stepping on and off of it, is great for working your core, but also I'm walking a lot. I walk 15,000 steps a day, which is just great for overall fat burning in your health. But again, that's keeping me lean and muscular. That's why you can see these abs. Was I ever overweight? Um, I never had a huge weight problem, but I did. First of all, I could have never been overweight by 1 ounce. And it doesn't, but I could still be very good at helping other people lose weight. So let's think, I think some people think, oh, well, since I was never overweight by much, I'm not good at helping other people lose weight. I'm really good at helping other people lose weight. I have a lot of compassion, a lot of empathy, but I also call people out on their shit. So when I've worked, coach people one-on-one, hold on, I have an alarm going off. Um, when I've been coaching people one-on-one, what's so interesting is that, I can see, first of all, I can walk them through the real life stuff because anybody can give you a plan and say, take this and run with it. And it works great for like a week or two, or maybe 5. And then life happens. You get busy at work, family drama, family emergency, travel, whatever. And suddenly you're not on the plane. You can't stay on the plane. And then you never get back on it. When I've worked with people long term, it's really great because we can look at, and some of these people, they've lost like 35 pounds and kept it off for years, 25, 35 pounds, but it's because the real life stuff happens and we work through the strategies that they never, even when they don't have time to cook, they don't have time to meal prep, any of that stuff doesn't matter. They're fine because they have this figured out. So, was I ever overweight? I don't have some big 100-pound weight loss story. I lost the pregnancy weight. I made it through menopause better than ever. I never gained any weight during menopause. Um, and I will say at various times in my life, I've been like I've weighed 20 pounds more than I do now without being pregnant or anything. So yes, I have weighed more than I do now. But to me, the real success story is that here I'm about to turn 59 and I've never felt better. So, and I can help you do the same. And again, you don't need to work with me one-on-one. best place to start, Happier, Healthier, and Hotter. Like that, you could read that and change, buy it today. It's immediate digital download. It could change your life. And I'm not trying to turn these Q&As into an ad for my cookbook. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying, I get some of the same questions over and over. They're all like answered in that book. Last one. How can I say no filters when I clearly have breast implants? They're two totally different things. Yes, I have breast implants, and I can say this is 58, no filters, because I don't filter my pictures or videos. That's what I'm talking about when I say no filters. I also don't always filter what comes out of my mouth because I'm real with people. But I chose several years back in 2020. I mean, right now, just so you know, everybody, like most people on social media, are filtering their videos and pictures. Makes them look prettier than they are. And I started playing around with that in 2020. A friend of mine who's also uses social media was like, you should use filters. Like you should really, it really makes a difference. And it does. And they're really subtle. And there's one, I'm sure it's around, called like Soft Glam. Your eyelashes look just a little bit longer. Your lips look just a tiny bit fuller. And everything looks smoother, more sculpted, but you look like you. People could look at that video and not even know. And I'm not judging anybody who uses filters. I've done it in the past. There's nothing wrong with it, but I started to feel disingenuous. And it wasn't like it's something I did all the time, but I started doing it because I looked so much, it's prettier. And really, it was when somebody said, oh, could you do a makeup tutorial because your eye makeup is so perfect? I've got some teeniest bit of eyeliner on and some mascara. But with those pretty filters, it looks like I had the most perfect eye makeup. And I was like, actually, I couldn't do that because here's all I do. There's no tutorial needed for putting on mascara, I don't think. But I was like, that's the filter that I'm using. And that's what made me decide to stop using filters. And so I started, however old I was back then. I don't think I started saying it until like I was 56. I think I said, this is 56, no filters. And then it just kind of stuck. Because I just decided I'm going to stop using filters. Yeah, we all want the best lighting. We all want to look our best. There's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted people to see, like, yeah, I do have fine lines. Yeah, this is this is what my real 58-year-old face looks like. I'm recording this in Zoom, and I know there's filters in Zoom, but I don't even know how to use them. So I had someone to ask me, I said, like, what are the best filters to use in Zoom? I was like, I don't use any. I don't know. So, yes, I had breast implants, and I can see why I get some hate for them, and that's fine. But instead of getting bent all out of shape, I have to be like, where is this coming from? So, first of all, I can see why, since I had one cosmetic procedure done, the people might think that I'm just a walking cosmetic procedure. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that. So I can see why people would think I had a tummy tuck or liposuction, especially with these abs. But at the end of the day, like this was something, I had two kids and had a lot of sagging, and even lost breast tissue. And it was the one thing that I couldn't change with nutrition and fitness. I could get my abs back. I built a better booty. I improved my skin, all of these things mostly based on the way I was eating and then my fitness. But I couldn't get this back. So I had breast implants, and it really had first looked into a lift, and the scarring was so much worse. It was a much more expensive procedure, and it was really the plastic surgeon. It was like, you could have the same results with implants instead of a lift. And I was like, sign me up. I'm in. And I've never regretted it. So I get a lot of hate for these. Oh, and a lot of people telling me I should better have them taken out. I might have breast implant illness. Well, I'm not having any symptoms 21 years later. So why would it's kind of like putting a cast on an arm that's not broken. maybe one day I'll have an explant, but that's not what I'm planning right now. So, you know, I get I get some hate, and I'm like, I also think some people are kind of using this excuse, like, oh yeah, but you have breast implants. Like, so that's not what gave me prettier skin. That's not what firmed up my butt. It's not what gave me a better booty. That's not what tightened my abs. I had this one thing done that I'm really happy with. So that's it. Wanted to answer these most frequently asked questions and just turn this into a video. Thank you so much for being here. If you like my content, please hit subscribe so we can let YouTube know that this content is relevant. Let the world know that you can love your body and your life at any age. And this is 58 for another week and a half. No filters.